It's your first day of middle school, but when you're half human, half dragon, that makes things a little tough. The morning sun filtered through the trees, casting dappled shadows on the path leading to Elder Grove High, a school renowned for its eclectic mix of monsters. Delia adjusted her oversized hoodie, wishing it could hide more than just her nervousness. Today marked her first day, and as a half-dragon, half-human, she felt like a fish out of water, or more accurately, a dragon in a den of wolves. She'd always been different, but this was a whole new level of strange. The last school had been a miserable experience, the teasing, the stares. Transferring to a school for monsters was supposed to be a fresh start, but she wasn't sure she'd fit in here either. As she approached the school entrance, she heard laughter bubbling up, like a summer brook. Delia peered through the glass doors and saw students, werewolves playfully tussling, a vampire perched gracefully on a windowsill, and a couple of goblins arguing over a snack. She took a deep breath and stepped inside. The bell rang, announcing the start of the day, and Delia joined the throng of students flooding into the hallway. Her scales shimmered faintly under the fluorescent lights, and she could feel eyes on her. Ignoring the whispers, she focused on her schedule, which seemed to have been scrawled in some monster language. "Hey, new kid!" a voice called out. She turned to see a girl with wild purple hair and mismatched eyes striding toward her. "You're Delia, right? I'm Rhea." "Yeah, that's me." "Awesome! Come on, I'll show you around." Rhea was like a whirlwind, her energy contagious. Delia followed her, grateful for the distraction. "First stop! History of the Undead." Rhea grinned, guiding her to a classroom filled with students sprawled across desks, some nodding off while others were animatedly discussing the last field trip to the graveyard. "Ah, not another lecture on ancient mummies," a werewolf groaned, throwing a crumpled paper at the board. "I'm over it." Delia settled into her seat, taking notes while trying to ignore the stares. The teacher, a ghost named Mr. Wraith, had a knack for making history come alive, or perhaps undead. The rest of the morning passed in a blur of classes: potion making, monster ethics, and even cryptid gym, where they learned to dodge enchanted objects and various forms of magical mayhem. It was all fascinating, but Delia struggled to keep her composure as the whispers persisted. At lunch, she sat with Rhea and her friends, a charming centaur named Liam, and a bubbly banshee named Nia. The cafeteria was a riot of colors and sounds, food flying as goblins launched spaghetti across the tables. "So, Delia," Nia said, her voice lilting and musical. "What's it like being half-dragon? Can you breathe fire?" "Not really," Delia replied, her fingers twitching at the mention. "I haven't really figured out my powers yet." "Powers? What kind of powers?" Liam leaned forward, intrigued. "Just some magic. Maybe." Delia felt her cheeks heat up. The truth was, she was still trying to grasp what being half-dragon meant. As the conversation flowed, she started to relax, feeling a small sense of camaraderie. But just as she was beginning to enjoy herself, the cafeteria doors swung open with a dramatic flourish, and a group of vampires sauntered in, led by a striking girl with raven-black hair and an icy gaze. "Look who's here," the leader drawled, a smirk on her lips. "The half-dragon. What a novelty." Delia's stomach dropped. She recognized the girl from the whispers. Valentina, the vampire queen who ruled the school with a glare and a reputation for mercilessness. Rhea shot her a warning look. "Ignore her, Delia. She thrives on attention." But Valentina wasn't done. She strutted over, her heels clicking ominously against the tile. "How does it feel, being a freak among freaks? I mean, you're only half of one." Delia's heart raced, but she squared her shoulders. "At least I'm not stuck in a rut of conformity," she shot back, surprising herself with the words. "Being different isn't a weakness, it's a strength." The cafeteria fell silent, every student's gaze fixed on the standoff. Valentina's smirk faltered for a moment, but she recovered quickly, turning on her heel and gliding back to her group, laughter trailing behind her. "Well said," Rhea whispered, her eyes wide with admiration. The rest of lunch passed in a haze, but Delia felt a rush of empowerment. Maybe she wasn't just the half-dragon. Maybe she was more than that. As they left the cafeteria, Rhea clapped her on the back. "You're going to fit right in here, Delia. Just wait and see." The days turned into weeks, and Delia started to carve out her place in the chaotic world of Eldergrove High. She joined the drama club, where her unique heritage became a point of fascination rather than ridicule. She discovered her abilities, learning to harness small bursts of flame during rehearsals, and her confidence grew with each passing day. One afternoon, while practicing a scene that required a dramatic flair, Delia accidentally let out a small plume of fire, singeing the edges of the stage curtain. Instead of laughter, she heard gasps of awe. "Did you see that?" Nia exclaimed, her eyes sparkling. "That was amazing!" The thrill of her newfound strength began to drown out the whispers that had once haunted her. She forged friendships, and slowly but surely, the half-dragon became a symbol of resilience among her peers. On the day of the school talent show, Delia stood backstage, her heart racing. She had decided to embrace her true self, blending her dragon powers with a dramatic performance. With her friends cheering her on, she stepped into the spotlight. "Tonight," she began, her voice steady, "I'm going to show you all what it means to be half-dragon and half-human." As she breathed fire into the air, the crowd erupted into applause, her heart swelling with pride. She was not just surviving in this world, she was thriving. In that moment, surrounded by a sea of supportive faces, Delia realized she had found her place. She was a creature of two worlds, and for the first time, she felt whole,